Hey everybody, it's Hubalubalu back with another game review, and I'm with a little special guest, my girlfriend's ball python. Call her Pepper, or Pooper, in that case I call her. And I'm here to bring you Ghost 1.0. A special thanks to the guys down at the newodyssey.ga for hooking me up with a code for this game. Check out the other game reviews that I've written too. Out July 12th, 2018 for $9.99, this action platformer joins the list of many great Metroidvania games. So the storyline goes like this. You're Ghost, a robot who has AI technology who runs into two super hackers who hire you as a mysterious agent in order to infiltrate Nakamura's space station and steal their greatest electronic secret ever. Not only does this game have classic mode where you're allowed to start and stop whenever you want in save points and you're allowed to pick up items off of your dead body, you also have the chance to play in survival mode. Here you only have one life. Every time you die, you drop all the items and upgrades that you get. You regenerate with new items and new abilities, and there is no save point. There are just casual progressions and throughout the whole game. And to top it all off, it gets harder every single level you stay alive. Now as you play through both of these modes, you have the ability to finish challenges through both of them. And then you can go back to the menu and play mission mode. Here you have the ability to run through certain missions depending on the certain achievements you got in survival and classic mode. Now if you ever played a Metroidvania style game, then you pretty much know how this gameplay works. Ghost has infinite ammo, but it recharges at a certain rate, depending on what gun you have. You start out with a 32 bullet weapon, and then you can move into shotguns, acidic weapons, and etc. With the left stick, you can move Ghost around and aim in a 180-degree area above you. Yet, using the right stick has you look in a 360-degree, and it can also lock on to certain enemies. This actually helps a lot more, but it makes a little bit more discomfort when you're trying to aim for certain enemies. Now as you run throughout the levels, you try to find these card keys that open and unlock these random doors towards your next level. This does seem a little repetitive, but you don't really notice it because there's so much going on and so much you want to collect while you're running through this whole game. Now Ghost actually brings a cool new ability to this Metroidvania style game. By holding X, her main ability gives her the power to have her energy and soul come out of her robot body and to take control of other robot bodies, or have it roam around in a certain level to help you navigate around and collect other souls for later items in the level. Now what I mean by souls in this game is in every certain area on the map you have a question mark whether or not you've collected all the souls in that level. They could be in a robot, some random black area. Depending on what you do in that level, they'll drop, and there are these tiny white specks which you have to collect, and I usually use Ghost's X ability to collect these white specks because it's a little faster than just doing it in your normal robot body. Another great thing that this game hit on was the mapping system. Usually in Metroidvania style games they have a mapping system, but it doesn't really tell you where you need to go, what areas have what specific things in them, or what shops or save areas that you can go to. This one tells you everything you need to know, where game key cards are, where the cube shop is, where the souls are collected or not, whether alarm waves are done or not. You have so many things that the map shows you, which just helps you so much. Now I'm going to try to go as fast as possible describing all these abilities, but I have to tell you right now, there are so many things in this game where I could just keep talking your ear off because she has so many upgrades, so many types of weapons, just so many upgrades for even her other characters that help you along the way, whether it be hacking robots or moving your X ability faster or slower. It just had so many things where every time you found something, it would attribute so much more to helping you along the way. In the pause screen, you have the map, inventory, and skill tree. And in the inventory, you have a bunch of items, power-ups, weapons, and secondary weapons, upgrades, and these things I want to get to you called geeks. They're not really anything really crucial, but it's something random where I haven't even figured out what it's gonna be, but I have Moria and Penguin, but it just says for it, when activated, something geeky will appear somewhere in the game. What could it be? And every geek that you get is gonna say this, so you have to figure out what it is. And I thought that was a really unique thing, but at the same time, like, do you ever get to know what it actually is if you don't see it technically? Another couple of cool things I thought they put in this game were the cube shops where you could buy upgrades and abilities with all the cubes you could pick up from destroying enemies, and how many times you could actually save in certain areas. And it was really smart to put the saves, and you could teleport to a certain one if you didn't want to start in a certain area. I thought that was really helpful too. And the only really main problem that actually stuck out to me in this gameplay was the fact that the aiming system was a little bit shaky. The fact that you could only aim locked on with your right stick and that your left stick could just only turn 180 degrees had me a little confused and a little uncomfortable in the hands. As well as the joystick, it's a little sensitive, so aiming in a certain boss or someone that's moving really fast back and forth or flying gets a little bit more challenging than you would think. And my other slight negative is the button layout of this whole game. Now, you used X on the ABXY gamepad, but at the same time, on the left D-pad, you had your items that you could use to heal yourself or throw a shield up, but you had to move your left stick finger to actually click one of those, so it would actually inhibit you to stop moving at all. So it was kind of really bad if you had to get in certain tense situations with like bosses or a lot of waves coming during an alarm system. I really think they could have just had it normally, like you use jump as A or B, and then you could roll with B instead of using the L and R buttons so much. Overall performance of this game was really smooth. No matter how many enemies got on the screen, their animations never made it slow down or lag at all. The visuals were really nice. I didn't really care for a lot of the gameplay visuals, but what I was talking about were the cutscenes. Those were amazingly put together. They were very funny, I thought, and some of them made me cringe, where it was either funny or just really cringy.
I've been trying to hack the system to find the server room, but it's a no-go.
We could just ask someone.
Ask who? Google? Siri? Space fairies?
Of course not, man. I meant we could just ask a robot for directions.
Jesus, that sounds so ridiculous that it just might work.
But also some of the background shots where the Earth was shown when you're moving up and down the shifting elevators, I thought were really well put together too. And finally, I really want to touch on the music for this game. It was just kind of white noise. The sound effects in this game were actually more apparent to me than the music itself. When I actually stood in place, I could hear it, but I mean, I'm not staying in place during a Metroidvania style game. You're always moving, and especially in this game, you're shooting with so many explosions and enemies, you really couldn't hear anything. Obviously, the sounds and music went up as you played bosses, but it really never took over at any point. I thought it was just a bunch of white noise pretty much. So do I think Ghost 1.0 is worth the $9.99? Absolutely. If you're a Metroidvania style game player, then this is a must get. I had a great time. I don't really play many games, but I just actually picked up Axiom Verge, and I actually did pre-order Dead Cells, which are both Metroidvania style games. So they're really hitting me right now with so many that this one really enjoyed it. The mapping system was really cool. It really helped a lot. And there were so many abilities and upgrades, it was just crazy. You're definitely getting your money's worth for this game, especially since I'm only maybe a couple hours into this game, and I'm only 30 to 40% done, and I've barely found any of the upgrades at all. So I'm definitely gonna go back and try to find them all. Alright guys, so my rating for this game, Ghost 1.0, it's gonna be an 8 to an 8.5. The mapping scheme was really cool compared to Metroidvania games. It can show everything on the map, including like the challenges and souls you have to get. I really loved how many upgrades you could have for everybody, even the characters who were helping you throughout the game. And there were just so many abilities, like for her alone, that it just made it so much easier. But then again, I didn't like the white noise is what I was gonna say, the music for the game. You really heard more of the sound graphics and everything like that. And then the button layout system, I really think they could have had the A, B, X, and Y used a little bit more, and then jumping instead of left trigger. And then finally, I really just had slight annoyance with the aiming system. Like you can aim with that right stick and not the left stick, and you can only look so far with the moving left stick. But you'll see when you guys play the game. It's a really fun game, and I totally think you guys should get it. Alright guys, I'm Hubalubalu. Thanks for watching my review. Please like, subscribe, and comment down below. Pepper's just saying a little goodbye right here. Don't forget to add me on Instagram and Twitter at Hubalubalu. I'll see you next time.